Hello, boys and girls of the far left. It's your most hated nationalistic patriot, Blair Cottrell, or Cottrell, depending on what class you were born into. Now, I know you guys all like to talk about Mr. Elite. Yeah? The elite 1%. Let's do that one a little bit straighter than that. The elite 1%er who controls the world and who's got evil master plans for the future that's going to result in great colossal wars and deaths. Now, you guys watch an awful lot of conspiracies. There's a lot of free information available on the internet now, which is fantastic. Just the stuff you've been getting, you formed the wrong conclusion from, unfortunately. And I'm going to try to help you today. Now, I can imagine right now a lot of you are settling in. You think you're going to have a good laugh, but I guarantee you this video is going to shake you up. This obsession you have with elites, yeah? You probably believe that this guy is, for one, or he represents Western civilization, yeah? That he's racist, probably sexist, and other types of ists and phobe. And he's also trying to hold down all the non-Western cultures of the world. That's what he's always done. His own culture, Western civilization, hasn't progressed on its own. It's only progressed because it's exploited and dominated other cultures. Yeah? That's what you believe. Okay. Let me put it to you straight. You people like to say, anyone who's not thinking like us is uneducated. Yeah? I mean, if you're not a lefty and you're watching this, if you've been in some sort of heated online discussion with these people, as they love to get involved in, you've probably been told something like, fuck off, you uneducated racists. Yeah? Now, I consider this to be very ironic because, first of all, these same left-wingers who call people uneducated are also obsessing about elites that control everything, all the institutions. I don't think you understand just how much control Mr. Elite has and how he exercises that control. First of all, his probably most important institution is public schools. He must always make sure he has control over public schooling curriculum. Okay? Now, why does he want so much control over schools? Pretty obvious, really. He wants to maintain his control over generations. He wants to have sons and then pass on his control to his lucky elite sons, and so on and so forth, so that he can remain and pass on his grand plan, which is a plan that is coming to fruition over generations. Now, he gets control of school because he wants control of the future generations, not so much because he wants to create anything as much as he wants to prevent. You probably believe that a lot of education today creates sheeple, as you people call them, and that all patriots are just sheeple. Actually, patriotism is prevented for the most part in public schools, along with something else. You see, schools aren't a place of learning. They're a place of recital. The only actual thing you can genuinely learn in a school is maybe basic mathematics, English, social skills, how to talk with people. Maybe you will learn how to count to 10 in Chinese or Indonesian. Other than that, there's fuck all else to gain from public education. It's all rubbish. Now, as I said, this institution works to prevent predominantly two things. Firstly, it doesn't want strong boys. The people walking out of this school after 15 years or so, the young people, need to consist of a certain calibre. And that calibre is not strength, independence, willpower, courage, boldness, pride. No, it's the opposite. He wants effeminized little bitches coming out of school. How does he do this? Well, first of all, he gets a lot of female teachers, and he makes sure that he, through these kind of teachers, raises femininity up as a guiding star and light of how a person should be. And he demonizes and holds down masculinity. Femininity is always rewarded. Masculinity is punished. This is how schools work. Try to tell me I'm wrong. Is there one school, public school in this state which encourages people to confront each other openly? Or instead does it encourage people to dob and gossip about each other? Does it train young people physically enough so they really understand hardships of life early, so they develop strong mental characteristics, ambition, willpower, perseverance? Or instead, are children sitting inside classrooms going crazy and then getting punished and fed pills because they have behavioural problems? Christ. If you've got kids yourself, you know how much energy they have. How can you expect them to sit in a classroom for 6 to 8 hours a day, staying still? How can you feed them ADHD pills because they won't sit still in class? There's something wrong with them. He doesn't want strong boys. He wants effeminized little bitches, subordinate to women, who later on in life bow down to a woman to such an extent that they drive themselves crazy, end up shooting everybody and go to prison. The second thing he wants to prevent is nationalism. Why? Simple. What's his ultimate ambition? Global control. Has he got it already? No. There's still a lot of work to be done before he gets absolute global dominion. At the moment, he's still concentrating on Western civilizations. He has to fuck them up first before he moves on to the others, because Western are the most advanced in terms of civilization. But why does he essentially want to suppress nationalism? Because he wants global control. How can you control the earth? How can you create a one world government, so to speak, if you have individual nations, nationalities, with their own culture, their own language, their own traditions, their own identity? How can you rule over all of them at the same time? You can't. You might be able to get 1, 2 at the most. It is much more effective to break down language and cultural barriers, to merge all of the different cultures together under the guise of equality, to create racial tensions so that the strongest of each cultures kill each other in conflicts. Then you, as Mr. Elite, can rule with an iron fist over whatever remains afterwards. I'm sure this has never been put to you before. And I'm sure right now a lot of you are scrunching up your faces and thinking, oh my God, how can he believe that? Some of you might even be sticking your fingers in your ears, scrunching up your eyes and saying, no, no, no. But it's okay. The truth pisses you off when you first hear it. I know it pissed me off. What have we got next? What is patriotism? Okay. These days, you left-wingers think patriotism is some sort of brutal, disgusting urge that is exploited by the elites to start wars and help fund colossal campaigns of destruction and death, to poleaxe and smash all the less developed cultures in the world and keep them suppressed while the evil Western capitalists live in harmony. Never mind that you're actually a product of these evil Western capitalists, but anyway, for the most part, a lot of times, yes, patriotism can be exploited by Mr. Elite, but what is it actually? Why is it so thriving all the time? Why is it always there? Because it's a natural instinct for self-preservation. Everyone has it. Patriotism is only a compulsive expression of this instinct. To go a step further, patriotism does not just protect the preservation of oneself, but namely their community or their nation. Humans are social creatures. They always create communities wherever they go. Communities where people help each other, independent from each other, but still in mutual struggle and in mutual understanding of nationality and the advancement of the community itself. Patriotism helps bring people together and helps guard the community from external threats, from foreign forces trying to get in. But here is where the problem is. You won't be able to accept that because you have a preconception of equality that has been surgically installed into your brains from the earliest ages by even your parents, because they had it installed in the same way. Not physically installed, of course, it's a psychological process, but everyone in the world is equal, right? Every culture, every people, every nationality is absolutely and unquestionably equal. Is that true? Think about it. How can it be true? From one glance you can see that people aren't equal. They're not born equal and they don't die equal. Can you make them equal? Let's have a look at history. What's that stand for? It's the United Soviet Socialist Republics, I think. This is like when? Just over 100 years ago, maybe even about 100 years ago now. We have Russia with its typical imperial/monarchistic type political structure. At the top, as always, you have your what is commonly understood as aristocrats, your minority of highborns, intellectuals, monarchs, thinkers, people with unusual ability. They're going to exist in every culture. You can't help that. They still exist now. And then underneath, you have your masses of average minds, workers, tradespeople, people that keep the gears of the state turning. Okay? In the middle here, you sometimes have middle classes too. Usually they're religious type communities, priests, people of faith. They give people here faith and purpose, so everyone always keeps on working and the state itself, the nationality, keeps progressing and advancing. Now, how was Russia equalised by communism? Hang on, I've got little magnets here I can use as an example. These people came in from God knows where. They came in and they had a lot of money and influence, or through their money they gained a lot of influence. They started plastering these average classes with propaganda and influential pamphlets and leaflets about class struggle and equality and the evil oppressiveness of those on top. And after a certain amount of years, this propaganda began to take effect. And they were able to subvert schools. They were able to create whole new young generations of egalitarians. And what did they do with these generations? They killed members of the church, aristocrats, the Tsar. They killed them all. Until afterwards, all that remained was a state of absolute equality with no leadership or no visible leadership. There was a detached leadership, which was these people. They put themselves on top, and through social sciences and clever propagandist techniques, they manipulated the thoughts and feelings of everybody, and they executed everybody. Skull and crossbones. They executed everybody who stood against them until such time as this regime collapsed. And now, in this country, we have people, self-proclaimed socialists and communists, who want the same thing for us. Why? I'm going to tell you a little bit more next time. I've already exceeded my limits of time on the video, I'm sure. Stay tuned.